Slow was the exact word I would use to describe it, but we're going in quickly into the next draft phase between Vitality and BDSA as we have one more ban left.
Right, and we're seeing a lot of interesting picks on bans rather on blue side. Usually Thresh Zeri, something you see on red, something BDSA, probably not looking to play towards. I like the Kench ban. I think Vitality probably looking to either go for something like really aggressive like Volibear or maybe Hecarim, just because we saw yesterday how good the Tahm Kench was at shutting down those engages here. But interestingly enough, with all the 80 carries that are still available, BDSA say no, give us Gwen.
Exactly, and them locking that in right away means they definitely want to play a bit more towards that top side and have a strong side lane presence. But speaking of strong side lane presences, what doesn't get better than the threat of the TF and a Jinx to boot in the bot lane?
Right, and I think that's really strong. Diplex, who's just been a really good team fighter for Vitality.Bee overall, is great on this Twisted Fate pick, and of course you get yourselves the Jinx. I think this is fine from them. BDSA going for the jungle and mid. Syndra, Lee Sin, a really strong mid-jungle duo here. Vitality.Bee, I think want to pick a top laner here, just because otherwise they're going to end up getting pinched out during the second phase of bans. I think the Jace was fine. I was thinking something like a Camille. Either way, a strong side lane you can play towards with the Twisted Fate. Gnar is also very acceptable answer in that situation, but the Jace is what they end up going for. You do give yourself that range, that poke, which is going to be helpful into something like the Syndra and even the Lee Sin, who are trying to get at you from range and away.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we saw out from Game Ward, right? All very similar draft going forward for the first phase, but so already signaling Vitality.Bee wants to play towards top side, they want to play towards his Jace, and this Twisted Fate should help out with that. As you see the Caitlyn ban along with the Xin Zhao, I imagine we should see one more jungle ban from BDSA to limit the options that Vitality have, as that's the FL is gone as well.
Right, you just start pinching 80 carries at that point. Caitlyn is gone. Now Zeri was gone from first draft and no Aphelios either. BDSA are running kind of out of options there. They got to go a little deeper in the pool. Ezreal would probably be fine. I kind of worry about Jhin just because even though that seems like the natural pick, you kind of run out of you don't have as much damage. You got a lot of burst. And that's the thing with Jhin, Syndra, Lee Sin. If you end up using all of your combo and the Vitality.Bee manage to continue to walk away, well, you're gonna end up getting taken out here. But now that the last bans are coming through, there's still plenty of jungle options for Skeen. That's the thing. That's why they're okay picking the jungle here later on. I don't think it's actually going to be that Nidalee. We still have a lot of early games available. Viego, J4, Trundle, things like that.
And there's the Viego, like you said, right at the beginning. Now, I was going to say, I know this is for sure a hover. There's no way he actually plays the Twitch because that means that BDS are going ultra late, but the Jhin makes a lot more sense. I did say Ezreal because Crown Shot is a god like Ezreal.
True.
But here, it might not fit as well considering the meta. He definitely doesn't have his options, but with how the draft is going so far, I find he's definitely trying to play more so for the setup.
Yes.
So you might potentially be seeing a Jhin Karma lane.
Karma is taken out, but I agree.
You're right.
I agree. Playing that more kind of a setup lane where it's like, yeah, you will get pushed early. You can play pretty strong in isolation, but you don't need as much jungle attention. Because what I liked from BDSA yesterday is we were seeing more flexibility from them in terms of play style. All these weeks, they'll play for Crown Shot in the bottom lane, but this time around, Jhin Nautilus, you're not really playing for that lane. It's definitely going to be strong, especially if that's actually a Yuumi that ends up getting locked in. But you want to play for Aggressivu with this Gwen on the top side of the map. You have a strong mid-jungle duo, which means you have a lot of skirmishing power in the early minutes. You're going to get pushed mid. You can get pushed top with help. So I think BDSA are, once again, going to play away from Crown Shot.
Yeah, and I've had Crown Shot is left in these positions quite often, although he does well into them, right? It has been just about, him taking up the role more as a setup, right? He's not there as the main damage carry. He's there more so the wrong word, but, preposterous is also the wrong word. Something P proactivity.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be a P? Do you want the double alliteration?
I do want alliteration.
Okay, talk for like a minute. I'll think of one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. As we see, both these teams load in, right? Standard 5-point starts yet again, which you've seen so far throughout the day. Nothing super exciting. I find that'll change as we get into the Carmine match. Runes as well, seeming decently standard. Nothing out of the ordinary. As we see, a ward already goes down to the bot side river for BDSA. And one top side as well, right by the Raptors.
All right, I got two words
you got
for
one?
you.
Okay,
I got two.
Let's see it.
I got positive and I have premium.
I like premium.
Premium proactivity?
Premium proactivity.
There you go. How does he do it?
By taking his time, that's how he does it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot easier when, you know, the camera's not in my face and I don't have to think about it. You know?
Exactly, yeah, when you're not looking at the game, you're like, dictionary.com.
Yeah, exactly. My phone was locked. I didn't look.
You're right, my bad. But you know what is good though, beat down here, is the distraction of both these junglers as they go on towards the bot side of the map. I'm expecting just almost full clear and the attention being paid top side as we naturally expected.
Right, and in both of these teams, it makes sense to see that one, especially from BDSA. Just from the draft alone, we knew that this is what they wanted to do. And I like that both teams are going for this here. I mean, this is what we talked about in the game board match. Melanic, you put him on things like Gwen, like Jace, you want to play for them on the top side of the map. Even Mirage did it in the previous series here, and I like that both of these teams are prioritizing these picks. Oh, Dote.
I mean, he's fine. He gets chunked to half, but I find that's the worry about going a Glacial Augment Nautilus, right? You're simply just not as tanky. Although early on you're fine because the damage is straight there from picks like Gwen, but you can get ultimately punished if you step too far up and you think that you're still this big beefy astronaut. Well, Divert.
Yeah, and I actually really like the pathing there from Skeens, just because he ended up skipping the Raptors, and I think he went the long way, so he's going to end up dodging the ward that you're expecting Shiko to go in place, because on his way up there, Shiko, of course, leaves lane, and it's a very common for mid laners to just leave quickly when you have Prio and ward the Raptors brush. In doing so, and because Skeens didn't take a leash, BDSA actually don't know where this Viego is. They're seeing the caution pings are coming through. They're like, hey, he's still not there. I don't really know what's going on. So now it'll be interesting to see if Skeens actually uses that bit of anonymity to be able to make a potential lane gang top, or maybe he's just going to path his way there. Never mind. That's not fun.
He seemed to be go there, yeah, like you're saying. He will get splattered out eventually. They did have question marks around him, considering the wave was at a pretty even state. Shio is now there as well. Some early plays going on. Loves to steal caps from his fellow opponent junglers. As he raised the white flag, he's so calm and spam. But nothing will be made of it. Both mid laners roam up, but things are being made of. Or down bot side, or Dote has the ignite on him. They have to pop the heal from Crown Shot. Good dodge on the little bite from Jack Troll. Let me sure to stay alive.
Yeah, Jack Troll's definitely a support we highlight a lot in the league so far. This man is out of his mind, in lane and out of it, and you can see it with how well he's been doing in these trades. The fact is, even though there's a bit of a skirmish in this bottom side river, I actually don't think Vitality, or rather, I don't think BDSA wants to fight this just because Dote is chunked out, is low on HP, probably is going to have to recall very, very shortly. And I mean, it's okay because we weren't expecting the bot lane for BDSA this game to be the big damage dealers, big carries. As time goes on, it's just going to all be about more people like Shiko, Shio, of course, Aggressivu on the Gwen.
And I find backing this early for Dote doesn't super bode well, right? Because if you are a Nautilus, you want to be able to link up with your jungler around level 4, level 5, to potentially make a play mid. But considering you're up against a TF, he's almost level 6. And then as soon as the timer goes on, that Destiny becomes such a threat for every single lane, especially on the side of BDSA. We have to be thinking about plays that can be made. They have to be thinking about how their opponents are playing the wave, or they're stacking the wave a bit too much. Are they playing farther back? Do we have enough wards on my bot side? Am I going to live or die when the eye appears?
Realistically, I think top lane is probably where they want to go ahead and do this. Skeens, right now, could, after doing his wolves, could either recall or just path straight towards the top side of the map, because Diplex is getting close to the level 6 mark. But I like this. Shiko's moving top before, using his prio before Diplex can actually join the fight here.
Yeah, force the flash from Sajenda. Well done. Like you were saying, just making sure to take advantage of the timer. Diplex will hit 6 after this wave, so if he wanted to move top, he could. We know he's trying to get that, and Vitality.Bee want to make sure that they do stay there. And there's 6. That's the Destiny up. He wants to move up. There we go. Look at that. But it gets canceled.
Wait, where's Dote?
He doesn't go through. That's insane. And now he stay bot side. The play is gone.
Oh, man. And we have the disconnect. But, wow, so much happened, actually, the last minute or so. Like, when you look at that play that ended up going through, Shiko, very wisely, using the priority that he has, moves topside so he can pressure this Jace and get the flash out of there right away. And it's something, overall, this topside play was expected from Vitality.Bee, but I don't know if they were expecting it that soon. That's because we already saw Jack Troll off the recall moving towards there. We already saw Skeens doing the exact same thing. So Shigender was probably thinking he was fine. Once flash is forced, then you have a bit of a situation. And I think the real icing on top there was Erdote canceling that Destiny. I think they would have been fine either way, but that actually gave them the opportunity to pressure Vitality.Bee away and have to go back to their side of the jungle.
And considering they committed so much to the top side, I don't think they'll lose a ton, but they'll definitely fall behind a little bit in terms of tempo do. And now they're not playing on this timer where Chico, he's now hit 6 along the same time as Diplex, but with the Destiny being down for so long, in the next minute and a half or so, for BDSA can go beautifully. They can now finally trade aggressively, and Skeens has to be the one to cover.
Things slow back down. BDSA can head towards this bottom side of the map. Go ahead and play for the first dragon. So as you see, we have push mid constantly. And of course now in isolation, Crown Shot is able to get pressure onto Jessica on this bottom side of the map. And again, I love the Shiko constantly out of lane, constantly moving with his support and jungle to help and play for vision, help set up plays. And in this situation, you got to imagine, going to be able to help set up for this first dragon.
Crown Shot has not been hit by a single Winter's Bite. He's somehow sidestepped that every single time. This guy's hands are elite. The fact that's not landing because it's not even as though it's like death sentence that's telegraphed. It's instant, but he just knows it's coming. He sees the future.
He does.
And the future that I see right now beat down is Skeen's spot side, so you might have a potential gank in our future as well.
No, maybe. Getting really close to level 6, we'll have access to that Heartbreaker, but oh my god, dude. In isolation is 2v2, Jeskla, Jack Troll, getting a lot of value constantly, a lot of pressure, and we've talked about how good of a 2v2 bot lane these guys are. They keep showing it here with how much pressure they've been able to get into Crown Shot and Erdote. But however, wave is slowly shoving. There's an opportunity for Shio, who has the Dragon's Rage.
Viewers, like you said, Skeens is still not 6. He needs to hit that, and he is as well right now. So he will now move bot side, and so will Diplex as well. But
no
I believe, like you said, yeah, Chico's aware of this and just starts to ping forward. They don't know that he's here. They get the immobilize. All right, now Jeskla forces the flash, but Skeens is now on the inside track. But Shio moves back and forces him away. No kills to be had, but Summoner's blown.
And it's really nice. Just Shio showing up, not actually committing the flash or the kick, knows Jeskla has to pay his respects and get out of dodge, meaning he holds on to both. And now he simply has the option to make that play again if he wants to. But because of all the pressure bought, and because of the fact that Skeens probably doesn't have a good shot at this dragon, BDSA, they're going to put all their attention on this top side of the map because Shiko, of course, has been in constant control in the mid lane. Always had push, always using his prio to move and help his jungler set up plays. So now Shio, of course, just like we were talking about, is going to move in with his mid laner, pick up this first Herald, and there are going to be plenty of options for them to be able to drop it on. Expect top lane, just because of how much pressure they're trying to apply to Shigenda, who still doesn't have flash. They're able to get these turret plates, get kills onto someone like Aggressive who's playing Gwen. I think you're going to be in a fantastic position. Skeens agrees, which is why he's like, yeah, I'm also going to be nearby, just in case.
I was going to say, we were talking, as you mentioned, about Shiko as well, right? If you look at yesterday's game, he had such a good look in just terms of how flexible he was and using his priority to shut down Melodic at the top side, as this might be potential shutdown as well. Aggressive who has no mana, so he could definitely get punished for this too, but he has the ghost if you want to try to run out of here.
Oh my god, no way!
He does it
twice
again!
in a row!
Oh my god, I'm epic. I'm done. My mental would be absolutely shattered
in the gutter
if this keeps happening, man. On cooldown too, he knows.
That one hurts. That one really hurts. Again, another play Vitality.Bee could have made. And I love this. Erdote, it's starting to seem like he's looking for these. He's moving his way out of the bottom lane, says, hey, you know what, Diplex is still here. I bet he's looking for that Destiny. It would be such a shame if I canceled it, wouldn't it? So he ends up doing exactly that.
Twice in a row,
yeah,
too,
man. And it's tough because now BDSA, we're seeing the replay there in the picture-in-picture, which is it's always fun to look back on that one. So the thing is, too, BDSA do have pressure with that Rift Herald. They haven't dropped the top because they felt their window closed. They could go and do drop it bot instead because they do have a lot of gank potential. Again, Shield still has flash and kick. Because he forced Jeskla to flash when he showed up earlier, there's a lot of options for that play to come through. But instead, Vitality.Bee are going to go ahead and start the Dragon. I have a feeling, though, having some second thoughts about that one.
I mean, they potentially might. You know, as we see, a lot of BDSA are moving over. There are the curtains call open. Skeens has to run away from this. You got Jack Troll not there to tank that, and the Dragon will be given over just as easily. And in fact, the flash is also blown from Shiko as well.
Yeah, I mean, Chico did have to flash because he was in a bit of danger, but ultimately, thanks for the leash is what you're thinking there if you're BDSA.
For sure.
That's what I mean by second guessing. You're not really strong enough to skirmish early on, and you're not going to be able to get that angle because Diplex didn't have the Destiny available to him here. So BDSA, very correctly understanding the plays that they can go for and the plays they can't, and they've been able to do a good job of capitalizing on them here. And so far, speaking of Shio, not capitalizing on his Rift Herald just yet. He's waiting for the right opportunity here. Could very well just off recall go topside. He has all of his camps up. The wave should bounce back pretty soon. It's going to give the opportunity they need.
Yeah, and let's sing more of the praises of BDSA because even the game yesterday from them was very strong. As I'll hold myself, they land the stun off the flash, and that is first blood, by the way.
Oh, wow.
At 11 minutes for Vitality.Bee.
Well, that was a nice play. You punished the fact that Chico did not have flash. You commit yours for schemes, and you layer the CC perfectly. It's a really nice kill. Isn't going to, and it is going to get some golden pressure in your favor here. And this is even without Destiny. So Diplex is going to be able to make a play very soon as a result. And you can see it. Jack Troll's been hanging back the entire time. Once that Spectral Maw lands, really nicely done. They don't even have to commit things like that Glacial Fissure, which was on cooldown.
Yep.
This is a nice play.
Yeah, it was, like you're saying, it was well done, bunch of timer. And I was about to sing the praise of BDSA about, you know, how well they played yesterday, right? How well they executed on the game, especially on our Dote's Tom Kench. So we were really impressed by that with a strong showing on Game Award because we were wondering, you know, what kind of BDSA might we see this week. They were a bit down under the luck going towards the middle of the split, especially facing much stronger teams. But for now, they'll be bouncing back, and the win against Vitality, what they need to cement their potential lead within the split and take a higher seed in playoffs. As Jeskla pops the heal, has to dodge the second shot, flash out, waiting, and moves away. Well done.
Oh, hello.
Meanwhile, on the back end, Diplex that he gets to use his Destiny this time. But cross shot should be able to run from this gold card lands, and he is dead.
Really nice punish there from Diplex. Yeah, and he ends up using the flash, but still ends up falling anyway. I think ultimately, Vitality.Bee really starting to find their way back into this game, and what I want to talk about too is how they've done such a good job of supporting Shigenda. Both top laners, you can see it. They're 0-0 and 0, and that's not what I'm talking about. The pressure that Vitality.Bee, particularly Skeens and Jack Troll, have been exerting top lane, because you knew, and I mean, it's clear in the draft, that you want to play for Shigenda. I might have to hold that thought.
I mean, yeah, he will have to flash away because if he takes the third shot of the step snap, then with the Ghost as well, aggressive does have kill threat on him. But now we're looking to turn. There's no jungler here, so he knows the ultimate is down. Shigenda could potentially poke him out, but he's against the wave. Not the best idea.
Yes, that's why he's going to back off. And the pressure they've been applying topside on Vitality.Bee, the point I was trying to make is so big because of the fact that you are making sure this Jace hasn't fallen behind. Shigenda actually has a decent lead here, almost 600 gold up because of the CS and the fact that any play aggressive in the rest of the BDS have been trying to make has been matched, making it so that the plays don't actually end up working. And at times, Vitality.Bee, the plays they've been making, though, they've been successful. BDSA haven't been able to get the read on them. And even though we talk about how Vitality.Bee play things slow, and I think realistically this is a slow game, they are being active so far in the early game.
I didn't know I was casting for the LCK beatdown. But for now, things might get a little bit faster. Heartbreaker out. Oh, not going to be able to land the deadly flourish. But still, they force the ultimate, so that's a cooldown nonetheless, and nearby dragon as well.
Still about a minute away, but of course, forcing Skeens out, forcing him to use the Heartbreaker, he's heading away from it, means you are going to hold on to Vision. I mean, you can see it, BDSA, their Vision line is pushed very, very deeply. There's one ward as you see the Vision toggle in favor of Vitality.Bee. It does mean Jeskla, wow, this is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Troll is there, right? But so is their Dote. And there's a depth charge onto one. Skeens is there as well. They allow the Deadly Flourish onto one, but Shio will get his target. But he will be traded. And he will get two more, actually, by the end of it. Sorry, just get two in total. So very well worth for Skeens.
And that was really well answered by Vitality. The fact that BDSA, they wanted to make the pick here. They had all that vision, so they knew, oh, hey, this AD carry's on their own. If we kill Jeskla, we're going to be in a great position here. But you can see it. Again, Skeens and Jack Troll always in the area, always there to help, making it so that Jack Troll can buy enough time for the rest of the team to get here. And of course, Diplex can join as well. The thing too is that Chico was never in a position to help to begin with here too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this play was risky for them, and they needed to get the kill instantly and walk away. That just didn't end up happening.
And what I find was interesting too is that we saw actually Shio, kick away, but Jack Troll, which I thought was really solid. But the problem is that then Skeens comes in, right? So if potentially saves the kick for Skeens, then maybe Shio gets out alive, potentially just safeguarding over to Adote. But for now, gets the punish, and Skeens like get to scale even more. But speaking of scaling, Aggressive, like you're mentioning, all that has being the top side does ultimately lead to first tower and back for BDSA and Berserk Herald.
This is a nice chunk of gold on probably the best person on BDSA to be able to get it at the moment here. Rift Herald also is going to be pretty helpful if they want to continue pushing topside, but they may need to mix things up because, again, Vitality been reading them very well so far this game, and it feels like this is what happens in a good amount of games for Vitality.Bee.
Yeah.
They have the read on the teams they are playing. They know what they want to do. They know what the optimal play is, so they're expecting it. They match it, and sometimes they answer it with kills of their own instead. So BDSA are going to need to get a little creative here. They're going to want to be able to come back on top. They're down 2,000 gold. We talk about scaling. Well, it's pretty strong late game carries on Vitality.Bee side have gotten a nice amount of kills and farm in their favor.
They don't stop the back, but they will get the TP out from Chico. As Rerte goes in by himself, lands a depth charge onto 3, but Diplex is here as well as to flash away. But look at as the current call get open up, they will get their target. But what more can BDSA do? The Gwen is there. Gets gold carded right away. She's not immune for much longer. Will manage to get the support. It's a 1-for-1 so far. As now Skeens can get the resets. Yet again, a 2-for-1 for Vitality.
There must have been a mix-up there in terms of comms or something along that. I'll definitely point out more if we get a replay. But the point is, Chico TP top lane. And as soon as Vitality saw that, they were able to go for the fight. So BDSA a little too aggressive there. And again, continuously getting punished for it. Vitality.Bee just keep finding these plays that are sometimes just occasionally gifted to them from what it looks like. And they're continuing to be able to get value from it. And speaking of gifts.
Yep, Shio does have flash, has to use it. The poke will not land, a close shock blast, but Jay's staying okay for now, but this rocket,
it's going.
Ooh, by seconds, it misses.
Yeah, the empowered back is actually what saved it there. I don't think Shio would have died if that hit Chico. Well, I think the explosion might have hit him. So that actually is a pretty big deal. The recall finishes, but ultimately, this is still really great for Vitality.Bee. You're in such a good position now where, as BDSA, keep giving up these openings, keep giving away gold, making it that much easier for Vitality to hold on to their their lead. Well, that was a weird looking interaction.
Yeah, that was fun. As I believe we might have another small pause with
Jack Troll again.
Jack Troll. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But Beaton, I did want to mention about how this look over from Vitality, right? This is the Vitality that we've seen coming off of a rough loss against Mirage yesterday as well, and they seem to be bouncing back pretty well.
Right, and I mean, a lot of it was because Vitality didn't necessarily have the worst of drafts yesterday. It was fine. The problem just was the way they play the game very slowly. Honestly, I think they're playing better today overall.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that they were just playing slow and letting this get to the late game, it was actually very similar to what Mirage did in the last series, where you were thinking, okay, well, we can play for late game. But in Mirage's case, they were too far behind for late game to matter. In Vitality's case yesterday, late game was not in their favor. No. So this time around, it's nice that they're actually being more proactive. They're taking opportunities that are given to them, and they're immediately pulling away in terms of gold lead because of that. You can see it starting to come through. It's because, one, they're catching all these plays being made towards the top side. I mean, part of that was made pretty clear in the draft. Even we were talking about how they're going to play for Aggressivo in the top lane of the Gwen. Making it so that at least Shigender can just get out of the laning phase and be the stronger player in that matchup, because Jason to Gwen is good in isolation, and if both junglers help, it's kind of the same idea, where if you're both shadowing, you get the matchup plays like you expect. I
mean, this is not playing out at all like how I expect.
Really?
Yote dies again. I thought he might be able to get away with a hook, but not going to do much more. If you crash, having to blow the heal there too, but no mana means he can't help much more.
Yeah, we're 130 from the next Drake, so Dote will be back to help secure vision if possible, and this is going to be a big deal because this is the Ocean Soul. Both teams definitely want this one very badly, and you can see it. Vitality.Bee now the ones who have that vision line pushed up. Jagenda, along with Skeen's shadowing, is going to move to this bottom side of the map to make sure they can keep this pressure on. And they're at a point now where actually you see that aggressive Vu on that ward is on the top side of the map, so they're just going to commit. They can take this turret because their bot lane is also in the vicinity. This is not a 4v4 that they are going to win, especially with Crown Shot making it a 3v3 pushing mid.
Yeah, and especially because we see Diplo's actually backing them on the top side. And aggressive Vu having no TP like you're saying, so not being able to support them if they do get into a potential fight. But speaking of which, that could have been one. Shia just putting out some feelers. He has been caught like this before, but I'm glad you know, he's decided to not take any unfortunate engages again.
Yes, he managed to ignore Lee Syndrome, and it's a big deal that he did because now we're 30 seconds away from either one of these teams getting their second dragon.
True.
And BDSA probably really hoping they can get this one. They need to get themselves at least some time to slow things down, just because of how well Vitality have been pushing them and constantly being active. Just taking members out while making plays. And you can see it too. Nobody's top lane now. Both teams recognize how important this dragon is. So it's just going to be about pushing mid and trying to clear the mid waves as Shiko's going to come mid late.
There is one vision ward into the dragon pit for BDSA, so they will know when it has started, and one right outside in the tri bush as well. There we go. That does spot Shio and Adorte there, but alongside that, Jack Troll have already moved up. They look good. They look for a collapse as the hook misses. Aggressive Vu is dead. Remember, Gwen is not immune inside the Shadow Mist, so the gold card will land. A really good punish from Vitality.
Yeah, this is perfect. I mean, this is what I'm talking about too. Shigenda can immediately go back in and thinks, what are you doing, aggressive? You don't win this trade.
Nope.
And it was just so easy for the rest of Vitality to collapse and lose that very important dragon.
Speaking of losing things, sadly,
oh my god,
Shigenda will lose his life. Jack Troll stopwatches. I'm not gonna question that further, but what I do know is that he is most definitely dead. Might have been a misclick.
He wants to
because of that, yeah, he will lose his life.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It might have made the difference, maybe not, with Crown Shot joining. But either way, you do get two very nice picks of your BDSA. But what they're going to be able to do with it is the question. Already, some vision is being placed on this top side of the map, and you have aggressive UT being top to try and push out this wave. But it's still BDSA who are behind and need to continue catching people out in this fashion so that they can try and catch back up in the game. So that they can consider trying to make a play for that Baron here. Because if they're able to get a pick, somebody like Skeens, maybe Shigender once more, you can consider taking that 5v4 or just going for the Baron. Because the thing is, you don't have fast Baron take, no matter what situation you find yourself in, barring like an ace or a borderline ace. BDSA, if they go for Baron, they have to turn.
So far, the vision line is basically even around Baron. You know, there is the crab set up, right, for BDSA, but that's not a lot. That's not gonna last much longer. They do have some wards across the river, but Vitality will likely look for the potential control point themselves if they do want to set up for it. For now, though, both teams is centering around mid lane, and as Agenda gets to push bot side, this is out of vision. BDSA do not know this is, Vitality do not know this is happening. Now they do.
The Jinx Pocket going through is pretty good. I like that they're going this. They're actually committing. I mean, Gwen damage is pretty good, but as soon as the Destiny comes out, they realize, oh, okay, now it's actually time to go.
Okay, Ziplex trades the gold card for the Scout of the Week, but he's going in for this. They want to turn.
Oh my
Look
god!
At that! From downtown, the Shock Blast lands, and Erdote, one of the first ones gone again, but this time it is Shiko. They will get the mid-tier 1 and maybe the Baron.
Oh, it's definitely going to be the Baron, especially with Curtain Call being blown like that for Crown Shot. You lose the ability really to contest it, because at least some of the long-range damage could force them out of the pit. But now we have Shio, who is in the area. No Destiny, so him sitting on a pink ward means he's going to have the opportunity to go for the steal here. This is going to be a big deal for BDSA. Aggressive is also here, and they don't want to play for it, but since Vitality.Bee, they've lost a good amount of health, and they don't want to risk the 50-50.
But they might not have to if they get Shio. He gets the kickback and goes in. A good gorge. Aggressive Vu is sadly dead. Now they get enough healing up, but now Shio goes in, wants to get one. But the reset, the Heartbreaker from Skeen again.
That is a tough call to make there for BDSA. They realize that they're probably donezo. Once they commit to that side of the map, showing that they're behind the Baron pit. They think that they can make a play here and go for the 2v5. However, no, they can't do that. They're so far behind in terms of gold. That was a risky play for them to make, and although I usually like risky plays when you were playing from behind, I think they gotta make sense.
Yeah, something has to happen. Don't just, essentially just do something to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's what it
which
feels like.
Exactly, because when you're playing for so far behind, we see that these are desperation plays. Sometimes they're bizarre, but many of them sadly have the probability of having very low win conditions, right? Which is why they're desperation. Although BDSA haven't reached that point yet, them losing consistently 2 picks off of every single fight and allowing Schemes to get these resets off just means that as the game goes more and more forward, out from the back of Shio, if aggressive doesn't pop off, then they can't do much off this. But Shio sadly gone again, and now they can go for the Baron.
It's going to be easy this time around. They go ahead and get it. No Shio to be able to steal it. Schemes is going to be the one to take him out and use his soul to help start things off. And now with the timing, it's going to be so good, as if BDSA can force them off with the curtain call, maybe they can hold on, but it's so hard. All 4 shots have almost gone through. They can look to turn at any moment.
Speaking of being turning, he goes in right onto Skeen, tons of damage, but Skeen just has more to that too. Aggressive by himself, no pop being had. He tries his darndest, but that's a double for his agenda by the end. Those shock blasts hit like a truck.
This is the thing too, VDSA, they keep denying the Baron play from Vitality.Bee, but it always costs them so much. They're always giving away gold and kills, and this time around they gave away so much of it. Now, because of the low health bars, because of the resets, even though Vitality.Bee don't manage to get the Baron, they can walk and set themselves up for the Dragon, and Shigen is TPing mid to try and get the drop on Crown Shot, at least get that mid push just to make sure they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and considering the fact they've been denied so often, and I mean, it is decent, like you're saying, for BDSA, but as these 5v5s goes on, right, they might eventually just die off the back of it. Like, it's cool to only give away picks slightly, but BDS have to decide whether they want to commit or not to. And Vitality also, at this point as well, they're just caught in the same sort of loop. So I think they themselves have to look for a more proactive play if they want to get the Baron and look to close out the game.
Yeah, it's hard too, because you're looking at something like the Viego, especially once he's getting resets, it's really hard to take him down. And we saw in that last fight, the value Jack Troll can have when he presses the right button on his keyboard. Oh, wait.
And,
oh, goodbye.
There we go. Not able to press, actually press the flash button, but it didn't matter because CC Chain was far too good for Vitality. And this is where they excel in moments like these, where they've taken enough in the map, and they know they're much stronger, so they can simply brute force their way into their enemy's base.
It's how that play even started. The fact that, hey, Shio's on the map, that's not acceptable, and Diplex is there to help show things up. Speaking of Diplex, this is unacceptable.
Yes, sir. Shio also being right in front of that was grody.
That's not good.
No, not at all. At least Shio gets away, though. That's fine.
That's cool.
Yeah, but Shiko dies, though.
Well, that's less cool.
Also true.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a tough spot. BDSA falling further and further behind. You're seeing the TP come through because Aggressive realizes, whoa, wait a second, I'm in a lot of trouble right now. So he just gets the hell out of dodge. And that's tough. That's a big cooldown. Gone for these next couple of minutes.
Yeah.
At least Shiko will have it. But the Shiko's, as a Syndra, is very difficult to side lane just because of how vulnerable you are, how mobile you are. No flash being available makes that even harder. So you see BDSA are probably going to have to turtle up a little bit here for the next couple of minutes, especially because 3 minutes from now, Vitality.Bee's Dragon Soul is coming up, and this is the big thing. If Vitality.Bee get that, nail in the coffin, GG well played, thanks for trying, BDSA are going home.
Yeah. As of right now, BDSA, like you said, want to fight for this spot. As the games get closer and closer to Vitality, have fallen to second place, but this win would definitely still cement that place, but we'll see how the results of K-Corp and LDLC go. Because if you get this and LDLC loses, suddenly they're back on top yet again, where they want to be. As Erzote goes in by himself, he's gone once more within a matter of seconds as Shio is walking away. Shiko is dead once more, and Crown Shot pops the heal, can't save nobody but Shio as well on the back foot. Looking to stay alive to go for a steal, but They don't have the current call up either here, Beatdown. This is so rough for BDSA.
Yeah, this is Spain without the S, I'm not going to lie. The fact that you as a jungler, as a Lee Sin, are 3 levels behind the 80 carry of the enemy team means they can run and try and chase you down anytime they want. And now they can go ahead, 3-man the Baron. No TPs available because Shiko is down on BDSA. No one this time can stop that play.
Finally.
Yeah, exactly. It's 3 attempts, and it has gone through for Vitality.Bee. They're probably thinking the same thing, but now, as they get themselves 10k in the lead, this game feels impossible to play for BDSA. When you have strong side lanes that you can play to, and this is what I'm talking about when I see the Twisted Fate picked up, because sometimes we see it with things like Graves, and if it's not as far ahead, it's not as easy to burst down targets with. But with things like Jace, Camille, you TP to that side lane with Destiny, they're done. They're gone in like 2-3 seconds, and Diplex has so many options to play for here. And like I said before, Vitality.Bee sees somebody on the map. Well, that's it.
Oh no, Diplex spots them backing in the bush and they stop that right away. There we go, he is gone. I don't know why they stayed for so long. They could have channeled their backs.
They needed to play. They're thinking, okay, someone's going to disrespect us and walk through. Please, God, let it be so. And unfortunately, it wasn't, as Vitality.Bee, I mean, start to finish, been playing this game so cleanly, have left very few opportunities for this to happen. That's why it's 5-22.
You're right.
Yeah.
And considering the fact that the first blood came in at around 12 minutes.
Yes, it did.
So within the next 25 or so minutes, things have accelerated quite a bit. But to be fair, it's a Vitality.Bee getting 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, and then suddenly a Baron play, another 2-for-1, and we go back to neutral state yet again.
You know, some 2-for-0s and stuff like that.
Exactly. Also that too. As game scaled up, Jack Stroll, shield is down. And Diplex takes a huge chunk, so that'll at least force them away. BDSA will hang on to the inhibitor, but Dragon is up in 20 seconds. There's no vision right here for BDSA. They cannot face check this. They do have some wards deep in Vitality.Bee's jungle, but that is not going to help them.
They're going to need all the help that they can get on the side of BDSA just because of the fact that this is the soul for Vitality. They're going to go ahead and just start this thing off, or they can wait in the bush because they know there's no vision to play for here. Just some wards coming through. The Shock Blast are doing so much.
Oh,
no.
The bait. Man, Aggressive who thought he had that. And there's the turn. And it's going to be the usual suspects going down one after the next.
That's so mean, but you're right.
It's just, yeah, look there. Shiko, there's Aggressive Vu now. Rodote, where are you, buddy? You're still alive for far too long. But he'll manage to get away this time and give away his spot to his top laner. But that'll be all she wrote, man. Vitality, we don't even need the soul. They can walk themselves into the base of BDSA, and BDSA have to watch all this happen. There's the first tower, that's the second, as it's a bounce house on Jack Troll, but it's a ride he enjoys because that's going to be the game for Vitality.Bee.
Vitality.Bee reminding us why they held first place against with LDL.